Here's a walkthrough for the No Toss achievement. This is for the Phantoms of the Void mission. You have to kill all of the Protoss structures. This is not a difficult level, and so in lieu of difficulty, I've substituted fun, and I'm going to beat it with banelings. So your build for Kerrigan here is not very important. It doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to use her most of the whole level. There's just a couple of passive abilities that may interest you. Twin drones is one I like, and automated extractors. For the army, the only thing I really cared about was banelings, because that's what I'm going to use primarily to beat the level. My favorite mutation for the banelings is corrosive acid. It makes them do a ton more damage to their primary target, and I feel like it's more beneficial than the heal or the splash damage. And I love the hunter strain, so they can go up and down cliffs. And I feel like it also helps them get to their primary target when you've got other stuff in the way, like zerglings or buildings or whatever it may be. So on this beginning part of the level, it really doesn't matter if you lose anything. You don't need to be careful. If you haven't realized it yourself, you'll get all of those units back even if you lose some when you start the level. Anyway, pointless trivia. Here's where the mission actually starts, because this is where your timer starts. So you're timed. So quickly run out here. You've got 3 simple objectives, some low-hanging fruit that you want to pick off, and you've got an army that's more than capable of doing it. You see I have the spawned banelings from Kerrigan. That's not... I mean, I guess it's a little help. It's definitely not necessary. The Ultralisks, and really you could solo it all with Alexei. So you've got tons of armies. So just run out here and start clearing stuff. You've got this temple to the right. You've got a natural expansion immediately to the right of your base. And just to the right of that, you've got one of the bonus objectives, the pylons. There are 3 pylons in this level that you have to run around and kill. So I'll take that out here too. So before you worry about it too much, you might be saying, hey, why didn't you go get that temple because Kerrigan's going to lose to Nerud? It doesn't matter when you do that. All it does is every time you kill a temple, it adds a certain amount of time before you lose the level. So if you, I mean, I don't know what exactly the timer is right now, but if you say, I've got 5 minutes before I lose, if I went and killed that temple right now, then I would have, say, 7 minutes or 8 minutes or however much it adds. So it doesn't matter if I wait until 0 seconds before I lose or 5 minutes. It's going to add the same amount of time either way. The only exception to that rule is, I noticed this, if you are just about to lose, say you were 1 second away from losing and you started channeling one of the temples with Alexei, you wouldn't lose actually. So Nerud can't beat Kerrigan while Alexei is in the middle of channeling a temple. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. So I guess you could buy yourself a tiny bit of time to get this achievement if you wanted by waiting until the very last second to start channeling a temple with Alexei, but A, you really don't need to, and B, that sounds like it would be way more trouble than it was worth. So, long story short, you can get these 3 objectives in any order you want. It doesn't matter, but just take them out as quickly as you can and then build up your base. And like I said earlier, probably the easiest way to get this achievement is to just build a bunch of Hydralisks and Roaches and just 1A your way to victory. I'm going to do it with banelings though. So I'm going to build a couple of extra hatcheries. I'm going to throw down my evolution chambers, my baneling pit, and my baneling nest, and start getting my upgrades. And then I'm just going to kind of sit back and start building up zerglings and banelings. Fend off the tiny little retaliations they'll send at you. Take a temple here and there, and then when I feel like I've got an upgrade under my belt, I'm going to send my units over there to the main base to the right. And you'll see this, as soon as I get that base, you're going to want to expand to it. It'll give you a lot of extra minerals, and that'll help you. You know, if you're not doing the best with efficiency, you can just power through it. So here we go. I just finished my 2nd tier, started my 3rd tier of upgrades, and I'm going to send this great big ball of banelings over there. So the AI will automatically attack units and not structures. The AI will never attack structures with an attack move command. You have to force target it on structures unless the structure is attacking them. Like turrets, they will take out the turrets. But I didn't actually take out the structures for the most part with banelings. I took them out mostly with Alexei, and except for the ones that were, I felt like were producing units, so they were an immediate threat. I sent the banelings against them. With that corrosive update, the corrosive acid mutation, they kill structures really fast. It only takes a few. So I didn't feel too bad about spending them on that. And so just clear out this base and send some drones over there to build yourself an expansion, start harvesting there, and build up for the next wave. Depending on your timing here, you don't have a ton of time before you have to get another temple. And there's definitely some stuff you have to kill in between you and that temple. So if you notice, before I went and cleared out this base, I took Alexi over there and cleared out the little forward base in between this base and that third temple that we're going to clear. So you can do that. It'll save yourself a little bit of time after you're done killing that base to get to the third temple pretty quick. So I'm building up some spore crawlers here. The reason for that is just they're going to send a bunch of air units at you at some point here in attack. As you'll see later in the video, I totally missed it. They sent the 4 carriers at my natural expansion, and I just kind of get screwed. And I end up being forced to build a bunch of hydralisks to fight that off, which is fine. I just didn't quite achieve my goal of building nothing but banelings, but oh well. So after you clear out that third temple, you just move straight across and clear out the fourth temple. In between there, like I said, they're going to send some carriers at you, and I think they sent 4 Archons with that carrier group, so they took out some banelings with that. But anyway, it's pretty easy. Once you get that fourth temple there, make sure you don't clear out the 5th temple, because then you'll win the level, and you got to kill all the structures to get this achievement. So this is kind of, we've got 3 targets left here. We've got the main base up to the top left. We've got and then to either side of that we've got the bonus objectives, the pylons, and each one has, I don't know, some pylons and some turrets by it or whatever. Anyway, structures we need to kill. So I went ahead and went for the base first because I figured it would be sending reinforcements at me. So I'm going to quickly take out this base, and this one has quite a few more air units than the first one did. So Alexi could totally do it by himself, but I sent up those hydralisks that I built because there's a bunch of carriers in this one besides the void rays, and so just didn't want to cut it close. And so now the banelings will take out most of the units, minus it'll take out all the units and all the attacking structures, and leave you with a bunch of structures you've got to kill with your army. So this ended up being really inefficient. It took me a lot longer than it needed to. I certainly would have been done by now if I'd just built a bunch of hydralisks and maybe some roaches. But we have enough time. So we get this cleared out. I almost lose here because I never transferred a whole bunch of drones over to that bottom right base. I think you can see on my idle workers really embarrassing number there. So pay no attention to that. Just consider that commentary on how easy the achievement is. You don't have to be really good or careful or go Sue. So clear out this base. Obviously not worth expanding to it at this point. We're just a minute or 2 away from winning. So again, the order doesn't matter. You've got, I said 3 objectives earlier. I guess there's 4. You've got the temple, and then the 2 bonus objective pylons, and then the base. So this is all really trivial. You don't need much of an army to do any of them except for the main bases. And even that's not a big challenge. So a little bit of double stepping there. Trying to throw off the AI, didn't work. Was forced to attack him head on. It's rough. Anyway, once you clean that up, I head back over to that temple, and you'll see by the time I actually clear up the temple and get Alexi channeling, Kerrigan is just like a second away from losing to Nerud. And even though it takes Alexi a couple of minutes to channel the temple, I don't lose. I actually win on this playthrough. So that's why I'm pretty sure that you can't lose to Nerud while Alexi's actually channeling one of the temples. But you take out those two pylons, and there you go.